Hey guys, it's your boy Vinny, and have you ever thought how many towers does it take to beat round 100? How long can a single tower survive in CHIMPS? Welcome to Spam Tatics, where we test out the limits of every single tower in BTD6. Let's get started. Okay, so this episode is going to be Juggernaut, and I'm gonna try it twice with different heroes to see like how the hero affects the buffing and stuff. So in this run, I'll go with Etienne that gives camo detection, and gonna cross path it with the middle path, which gives it quick shot. And the early game is pretty easy. We can deal with it. We don't really have any hard rounds in this early game, so we just go smooth. And I just rushed Juggernaut and then spammed spike balls. The first real hard round was 40. I lost in this sometimes, but in this round I got it right. And there's the problem with Juggernaut, it doesn't have Moab damage. It has a lot of pierce and a good ceramic damage, but it only deals 1 damage to Moabs. So it is pretty bad to Moabs. After round 40 I save up for an Ultra-Juggernaut, get it right after 50, and now Etienne is level 8, so everyone has camo detection. So from now on it's pretty easy, just upgrading and putting new spike balls in Juggernaut. It's pretty smooth from now on. 63 is not a problem. 62 is a pretty hard one because there are fortified Moabs, and again they don't really have good damage against Moabs. 62 and 64 are pretty tough rounds, but Etienne helps with Moab damage. We dealt with 63 with no problem, it was pretty easy. Ultra-Juggernaut takes care of everything, and it's a smooth ride until the 80s, so let's just as you can see, we're starting to struggle a little bit with more BFBs and Moabs. Just a lot of Moabs really hurt us, but we are not losing. 79 is a pretty tough round, there are 2 fortified BFBs. And round 80 has a UMG, but using abilities it's pretty easy to take. Right now we get into free play, so 80 plus, it's a pretty hard every round, everything gets stronger, Moabs get stronger, and it's actually pretty doable. We're dealing with it, it's kinda hard, but doable. We even defeat 85, 86, 87, all with ease, and really not hard. 88's a pretty harder, there are a lot of Moabs. 89 took a while, I was in challenge editor, and this took a while. There are a lot of fortified stuff. I lost and I retried and I kept losing, and it was not working out. I wanted to save the UCAV for round 90, but I forgot that the UCAV, the level 10 ability for Etienne, doesn't actually damage the DDTs that come on round 90, so it was just a waste of time. I would have to defeat every single DDTs with Juggernaut because Etienne has 0 DDT damage, and I dealt with it, and yeah, DDTs just shred. There's nothing to do with DDTs, there's not enough DDT damage to deal with. and I just kept losing and losing, and there was really nothing to do. UCAV was out of cooldown, and it didn't even damage it. I counted the Juggernauts, and I had around 36 of them. So yeah. Well, I noticed that Juggernaut and Ultra-Juggernaut have a pretty good pierce, a really high pierce, and deals really well with ceramic, but they can't deal with Moabs. All the Moab damage was dealt by Etienne, but I found something to answer that, which is changing heroes. So I'll be trying to go with Gwendolyn now. Well, the start is pretty much the same. 3 Dark Monkeys in the same place, and we just go for it. This early game again is pretty easy, not that hard. I just go straight for Gwendolyn, so we have lead popping power, and I again rush for a Juggernaut as early as possible. Well, now I won't go for spike balls because in Moab damage, spike balls and 202 Dart Monkeys actually deal the same damage. So I'll just going to spam 202 Dart Monkeys to take down the first Moab, because again, Moab damage is still a problem, and Gwendolyn doesn't really deal that much better Moab damage. It took some tries, but with a pretty good ability timing, we can take down round 40 quite easily, but you have to be very careful with Gwen. As you can see there, they get into that close to the last bend, and I just put a little bit more, upgrade some Juggernauts, and now I'm going to start putting on spike balls and Juggernauts. From now on it's easier, since now we can actually deal with Moabs. I go for spike balls, I get an Ultra-Juggernaut, I switch up the Ultra-Juggernaut positioning, now it's on the bottom of the main square, because then it can actually reach the last bend, which will be useful later on. Round 60 again is pretty hard, and round 62 took me a lot of tries, and I tried this before sometimes, and round 62 was really tough, because Gwendolyn is a really helpful Moab damage, but she can't damage purples, and there are a lot of purples, and fortified Moab, so this is a really hard round. But in this, I actually got it, and it was really close. This is the positioning of the Ultra-Juggernaut that actually matters. You guys are gonna see later on that that is going to be the difference that's going to save me. 63 just passes by really fast. 64 again. A lot of fortified, pretty hard. But this is when Ultra-Juggernaut. You can see there that if I didn't have Ultra-Juggernaut, this was not going to be possible. As you can see, I lost on that. So I put more darts. I used Firestorm earlier to deal a little bit more damage. And I got it with really close. Fortified Moabs are a big trouble for us. And again, fortified Moabs, big trouble. I saved it with a Firestorm last second, and it's just that. As you can see here, in this run, we are having much more trouble with Moabs and stuff. And that's because, different from Etienne, Gwendolyn doesn't actually have that much Moab popping power. So we're really struggling against Moabs. And what I really wanted to do was get Gwendolyn into level 17, which buffs her heated up ability, making so it deals extra chew damage, which is 300% of the normal Juggernaut damage, which would be a big difference for the 80s that we're gonna join right now, and especially the 90s will be really useful because that was going to be what we needed to actually deal with DDTs. But actually, I couldn't even pass 82 because there are a lot of fortified BFBs that turn into fortified Moabs, and I tried putting spamming normal Dart Monkeys and it wasn't working out. I don't really think that this is possible, but I might try this again later on. Well, I thought that Gwen was going to actually do better than Etienne because of her level 17 buff, but we ended up not even getting into level 17 because of fortified BFBs, and I noticed that Gwen has also no Moab damage, and really all the damage dealt by Moabs was by Etienne on the last round, so Gwen ends up being worse than Etienne in this case by trying to buff Juggernauts, but I might try to do this if Juggernaut gets a buff, or if, I don't know, Gwendolyn gets a buff. I might redo this maybe even with other heroes, or try with other support towers, but yeah, that's basically it. Etienne carried all the Moab damage up to round 90. Gwendolyn lost on round 84 if I'm not wrong, and yeah, that's basically it for this first episode of Spam Tatics going on with Ultra-Juggernaut and Juggernaut. So yeah, this will be it for today. We see each other in the next video, and I might try to do a completely different video instead of spamming towers. I might try to win with the least towers as I can. Let's see what the next video will be about. We see each other in a while, and thanks for watching.